In one of the most shocking clout moves of the modern internet age, controversial podcast host ADAM22 allowed for his wife of less than a year to film a scene with adult star Jason Love. It basically broke the internet, was supposed to make millions of dollars, until it was leaked in its entirety on Twitter just days before its scheduled release. But what if I told you there was some real sinister reasons as to why Adam wanted this video put out into the world other than money? Growing controversy with his, whole pedophile accusations, a failing channel, and extreme greed all play a role, and they might just be the reason that No Jumper might be done for in the first place. Let's get into the real reason why ADAM22 sold his wife for clout right now. But before we do, man, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run on this video, man. I'm gonna need you to check out the merch too, link in the description at staysafeworld.com, man. You already know. Join that notification gang, hit that notification bell so whenever I post, y'all tapped in already. We on the road to 10K subs. We at 7,900 right now, man. I'm gonna need you to tap in. I need everyone, if you watching this video, man, tap in. Make sure you subscribe so we can get to 10K right now, man. That's the first goal this year. Let's run it up right now, man. Let's go. March 2022. No Jumper was essentially on life support, with almost all of their major hosts leaving the platform shortly after a separate growing movement online exposing ADAM22's suspect pedophile past. It seemed like No Jumper was essentially coming to an end. AD, T-Rail, Duno all left the platform. And then I highlighted what exactly went down with the whole accusations in another video, which got hundreds of thousands of views and got people really looking at what was happening with ADAM22 and his suspect past, with exploiting minors, doing a lot of crazy stuff in the Lil Pump days, doing a lot of suspect things. And it looked like it was definitely affecting the channel because around that time in March, they were losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers, man, on something that I've never even seen before. Most channels, when they lose subscribers, it's because they're not posting enough or doing something wrong. It seemed like ADAM22, even though he was still keeping up with the content despite all these controversies, the channel was failing miserably. They tried replacing all those podcast hosts. Nothing was working. They tried stirring up controversy, but nothing was sticking. So then one day, ADAM22 basically decided that enough was enough and he was going to go all out and put all his cards on the table. And this resulted in what happened with LENA the Plug and Jason Love. Because that whole incident, what if I were to tell you that that is a business move? And that's something that has definitely contributed to the channel starting to grow again, which is honestly crazy if you think about it, but the stats don't lie. When you track the number of subscribers, as soon as these videos started coming out and people started talking about the whole thing and they started gassing up the whole idea of her doing the scene, the subscriber base for No Jumper started growing again after months of decline. Yes, the idea of LENA basically doing separate scenes with other people has been floated around in the No Jumper universe for years now, and it's crazy because years ago ADAM22 was like, no. He would say incite instances where other stars would do that type of thing, and then the man would end up having the short end of the stick and getting divorces and stuff like that.
Never have a dude be in your scenes?
No. We got a one-way thing going here.
One-way thing.
I mean, we're monogamous in our private lives, and then we do on camera with other girls.
Right.
I got too much money to have her getting dunked by some linebacker.
And he was basically like super against it for a number of years, ever since he really started dating her. And they created the whole Plug Talk platform where he basically got to do that while she didn't do that the whole time. And it was seen as kind of crazy because it's like bro was getting with hundreds of people, and like the fact that she didn't get with anyone was, kind of crazy. And I don't know if they were gassing that up from the beginning, because that would be a real content genius to realize that it takes, gassing up, building up, basically promoting it and building a storyline to get people to really care. But this was honestly one of the most successful business moves in the No Jumper universe. And it's honestly something that I feel like won't be sustainable, because now that it's been, you know, the seal has been broken and people have already seen this content, especially now that it leaked, is there really a market for it going forward? Because when you look at the subscriber base that grew, it wasn't really that substantial. It basically took them out of the red because they were going downhill for months. But it's not like it was something that substantially grew. And honestly, it's pretty much a wonder. This is like a huge risk that they took, thinking that this would actually grow. And it did show some type of growth, you know. After months and months and months of like failures, this kind of like grew the channel up to the point where, you know, they're actually gaining subscribers again. But the thing is, a lot of the content that they've been posting about this is really just promo leading up to this whole video, you know. And I guess for some reason, I guess the CLOUT community was vibing with it and started following them again for some reason. But apparently it affected their bottom line, so I guess that's good for them. But is it really sustainable? Because No Jumper was built on, you know, rap interviews and rap hosts, you know, urban hosts that were interesting and people that, you know, the fans actually care about. But this is where No Jumper sort of strayed away. Now it's not really even about that. It's more of like a Playboy type thing now. And for YouTube, that type of stuff is not going to work. But for the overall clout, it's definitely benefiting Adam. I see the number one reason why Adam even took this stance in the first place and changed his ideals that basically he had for years before against having LENA do these type of, you know, scenes with other people, was the growing accusations against him, which were coming up and basically destroying his business. Like I said, essentially having hundreds of thousands of subscribers leave his channel because of these growing instances, on top of everyone else that left the channel. But ADAM22, being a, you know, conniving evil genius that he is, saw that there was an opportunity to take people's minds off of the growing allegations against him, even as Rolling Stone and other people basically commented on it, and, you know, took the time to have LENA basically sold her into the clout world just to get people's eyes off the growing controversy. Because when you look at the stats, when everything came out in like March and it was all going downhill, it was pretty much going downhill for months. When ADAM22 came and thought that, yo, maybe we can distract everyone from these allegations or whatever, not have to talk about it or anything by breaking the internet and having my wife do a scene with another person. And it did kind of work, you know. The No Jumper fan base started to grow for the first time in several months. And, you know, it definitely looked like things are going in a positive direction for No Jumper. People aren't really talking about, you know, the whole narrative of what he did in the past and his suspect past anymore. People are more talking about his whole cuck life and like comparing him to Sneeko and like saying that it's so wrong, but really it's running up views for his channel. But there is a downside to this, because although it's grown for the first time in months and has gone up, like I said before, the views and subscribers haven't really grown up substantially. They've grown up a lot, you know, compared to where they were when it was almost at ground zero, but it's not growing fast enough. And that's the thing that might be the death of No Jumper. On top of the fact that they haven't really replaced their host with anyone that's even remotely as interesting as the people that he previously had earlier this year, it's like a real lag period, and this could be a make or break period for No Jumper. You know, there's a lot of money tied into this stuff. They're paying out these hosts, they're paying for these new venues, they're doing all sorts of stuff to even keep the bottom line. But it's looking like this is a last ditch effort to basically go all out and try to find a way to, you know, get some type of clout success. But it's really not sustainable. There's a number of reasons why. The controversies that are against Adam are too crazy that people are eventually going to forget about this video with LENA and Jason Love and stuff. You know, it kind of broke the internet, but it broke the internet and it didn't even make the money that they're trying to make because it leaked online before it was even released, man, in its entirety. So that means all the money that they could have gone is basically, you know, up in the air, and it's a lot less because now millions of people have access to it. Why would anyone want to pay for it when they could just go find it online, you know? That's the crazy thing. On top of the fact that this is like a one-time thing. It's not like people, like, yeah, people are gonna want to go and maybe watch it over and over again, and maybe there's some people, but the general public caring that much, it seems like this is only a one-time thing. And this was built up over years. Where do you go from this? You know, like, where you can't just do this again and expect to have millions of people looking at it again, because if it's normalized, no one's really going to care anymore. They're just going to be like, oh, this is normal, this is what they do. You know, the whole mystique of, is it going to happen, is it not going to happen, was the thing that carried this to even be like a trending topic on Twitter. But if they try to do it again, I know for certain that the views are not going to be the same. People are not really going to care as much. Like, yeah, there's going to be like those taboo communities that care, but the general population is not really going to care because they've seen it before. What's going to make them like tap in again? You know, it's just going to be some normal stuff. That's why this was like a biggest risk for ADAM22 and the No Jumper platform, because number one, imagine like what happens now that it got leaked. And number two, how do you even go past that? Like, what's the next step there? I feel like it was really short-term thinking, and it really wasn't even a smart idea. Like, it was smart in the moment, but it really wasn't a smart long-term proposition, you know? Because at the end of the day, now it's pretty much over, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the subscriber fan base, you know, if they're going to stick around, or if they're, you know, tired of it because they got what they want, man. This brings me to my last point. This might be the end of No Jumper, because this seemed like this was all the cards that the bro had, you know? There's no more surprises unless bro starts getting like celebrity hosts to pull up and do what they do and pull up and go, you know, pull up with his wife or whatever. Like, that's going to be the only thing that I see might be able to continue this platform. But is it even really going to help his YouTube in the long run? Is it really going to ever help him fight the allegations that he has against him? Is it really going to help grow his platform? That is yet to be seen. And that's the reason why I feel like No Jumper might be reaching its end, man. Before we get into this and end this, man, I'm gonna need you to check out my other video on ADAM22 and how he basically destroyed his platform and stuff. You'll get better insight over there. But man, appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and check out the merch, man. Real stay safe shit. You already know what's going on. Peace.